Hello, big riggers. Thanks for joining me, Jim Campbell, as we talk all things trucking. Today, we are going to be giving out some of the very best informational tips you will ever get, and it comes from a retired driver, dispatcher, and broker with over 30 years of experience in the trucking industry. Me. The information I will be sharing in this video is useful for all drivers, no matter how long you have been driving. For the older drivers, think of it as a refresher course. If you are an older driver with a ton of experience, please start mentoring a young driver on what to do and what not to do. Any help we can give to each other can only help in making our trucking industry better. So help these young guys out. If you are a young driver, or possibly someone going through trucking school right now, heed this video and trust me when I say the information contained in this video will save you a whole lot of time, grief, and heartache when it comes to your trucking career. Please watch this video all the way through to the end. This video contains a lot of key information sprinkled throughout that I am sure you will find very important. Please leave me a comment below with any questions you may have. Also, please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Okay, so let's get into it. First of all, if you are a new driver, welcome to the trucking industry. The following informational tips will definitely help you out. There are a lot of important things you need to know about when it comes to being a real truck driver and not simply a steering wheel holder. I can't cover everything in this video, but I will do my best to go over some key issues you need to be aware of. For the experienced driver watching this video, a lot of what I will be going over, you may be thinking, hey, I already know that, and I am sure you probably do know a lot of it. However, I bet you will find something mixed in this video that you didn't know or never really thought about. So stay tuned. Let's get started. I can't stress enough the importance of safety in the world of truck driving. Always do a pre-trip inspection to make sure your truck and trailer are both in good roadworthy condition. Remember to check your brakes, tires, lights, and fluids. This helps prevent accidents and breakdowns while out on the open road. When driving any vehicle, truck, or car, always remember to keep a safe following distance between yourself and the vehicle in front of you, and never lose sight of the fact that trucks need much more time to stop than cars. Pay attention to the road ahead of you, but don't lose sight of what is happening all around you. You need to make a habit of constantly scanning your mirrors and gauges with a sweeping glance from right to left and from left to right. Watch out for vehicles that may have entered one of your blind spots. Above all costs, please, please, please avoid distracted driving and always wear your seat belt. Distracted driving can be best defined as anything that takes your focus away from driving in a safe manner. Always know what is going on around you at all times. Examples of distracted driving are doing things like talking or texting on your cell phone, adjusting your radio or climate controls, eating while driving, or gabbing with a passenger who is along for the ride. While we are on the subject, please remember that by law, you need to have a hands-free phone set up. That means you cannot be holding your cell phone in one hand while driving with the other hand. You need to be able to initiate the phone call, answer the phone call, and end the phone call, with each step requiring a single button push. That button can be on your dash or on a Bluetooth-connected head or earpiece. Here is a darn good habit for you to adopt immediately. This will keep you in the good graces of other drivers. Never, 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 never ever park in the fuel island at the pumps once you are done fueling. When you pull into a truck stop to fuel, wait your turn in line for the pump. Once you reach the pump, fuel up and then move your truck forward before heading inside the truck stop to pay for the fuel or to purchase additives. If you plan on staying in the truck stop for any longer than 10 minutes, find yourself an actual parking spot, then go inside. Don't ever leave your truck at the fuel pump area while you go inside the truck stop with the intention of doing anything other than returning to your truck in the shortest amount of time possible. Have some respect and consideration for your fellow drivers. Their time is just as valuable as yours. If your truck is blocking the fuel island, it will do nothing but create problems and piss other drivers off. Trust me when I say that kind of behavior has sparked more than a few fistfights at the fuel island. Be respectful and think about others who are also on tight schedules. Next, let's talk about jake braking. In truck stops, the sound of a jake brake can be loud, very loud, and is another one of those things that will really piss other drivers off. When you're in a truck stop, turn off your jake brake to avoid disturbing other drivers who are trying to get some shut-eye. Drive slowly and carefully around the truck stop while you're looking for a parking spot. Another major problem on the open road is lane abuse. When you're out on the open road, don't get into the hammer lane, cop a squat, and stay there. For the brand new drivers out there, the hammer lane is the left-hand lane, or passing lane. If you need to pass another vehicle, do it quickly, and then move back into the right-hand lane as soon as possible. Blocking the left lane causes traffic jams and could possibly end up causing an accident. You should also have a CB radio in your truck to help you get advance warnings about backups, accidents, or bear reports up ahead of you. In addition to that, it's nice to have one to shoot the shit with a fellow driver as you run down the highway to pass time. However, please don't turn into a CB Rambo. There are way too many of them out there now. This means don't use the CB radio to swear or insult others or challenge other drivers to meet you on the side of the road somewhere. Please keep your communications professional and respectful. We are all in this together, so let's do what we can to help one another. The public hears what we say, and our behavior on the radio is a reflection on what the public thinks about us. Let's keep the airwaves clean and show that truck drivers are professionals. Always be willing to help other drivers, whether they are in a big truck or in a car. If you see someone struggling to back into a spot or needing assistance in some other way, offer to help. Please never lose sight of the fact we all had a starting point when we didn't know much about trucking and had to learn. A helping hand can make a big difference to someone in a time of need. As a truck driver, I always considered myself as a professional tourist, and you should do the same. It will give you a whole new outlook on things. Use your truck driving trips to see new places and do interesting things around the country. For example, if you are out west, visit the Grand Canyon. If you are waiting to load or unload somewhere and have some time on your hands, visit the historic sites in that area. Make the most of your time on the road. I used to zigzag my way from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area out to Ontario, California, delivering multiple stops to Kmart distribution centers along the way. Once in Ontario, I always made it a point to golf at least 9 holes at one of the local courses. One of the best memories I have was when I was still driving out west and got laid over in Nogales, Arizona. I was waiting for a load of veggies that was still in the ground and hadn't been picked yet. So I drove over to Tombstone and spent the night there and got to see the cemetery at Boot Hill and also watch the reenactment of the fight at the OK Corral. I bought a copy of the famous Tombstone newspaper from that day back in 1881 when the fight at the OK Corral took place and still have it. Even got to walk around Boot Hill and saw the famous headstone. Here lies Les Moore, killed by a .44, no less, no more. As a new driver, you can gain valuable advice from other more experienced drivers. They will answer your questions, so don't be afraid to ask. Always remember, the only stupid question is the one you don't ask, because if you don't ask, you could end up having egg on your face. Here is a good tip for you. Never ever leave home without a jacket. You never know what the weather's going to be like. It might be 75 degrees and sunny where you're currently at. However, the weather may not be the same 2 or 3 states away. Depending on where you're at now, there could be a blizzard going on a couple of states away, or you might see a 30 or 40 degree swing in temperature. Who knows? It's always better to be safe than sorry is my motto. Here is another piece of advice that might just save your butt sometime in the future. Always have a pair of full-length jeans or sweatpants in your truck, along with a long-sleeve shirt. The reason why is because there are a lot of shippers out there, for safety reasons, that require anyone entering their property must be wearing long pants and a long-sleeve shirt. In most cases, these shippers also require a driver to have safety glasses, a reflective vest, and a hard hat as well. Some shippers have these items to loan at the guard shack, but not all of them do. These are items your trucking company should issue to you. If not, ask for them. You don't want to get caught in a situation where you are sent to pick up or deliver a load somewhere, and the shipper or receiver has that requirement in place. and there you are, wearing a pair of shorts and a short-sleeved t-shirt. You're screwed. Now you're going to catch an earful from your dispatcher. A very important topic to think long and hard about is this. What type of trucking company do you want to work for? You need to first of all decide if you want to pull a reefer, a van, a flatbed, or a tanker, and what is your long-range goal. With a reefer unit, expect to pull a lot of produce from out west or from the southern states, or possibly be a meat hauler from the Midwest, or a frozen seafood hauler from the Northeast. Pulling a van generally means year-round freight, however. The freight you haul will be much more varied and doesn't pay as well as other more specialized freight. Pulling a flatbed pays much better than vans and could lead to hauling oversized loads, which pays really, really well. However, it's also a bit more physical with tarping and strapping involved. The same goes for tankers. Freight is generally always good for tankers to run year-round. They can haul anything from fuel to chemicals to food products. There is also some, what I would call, offshoot freight to run. For example, we had a contract to deliver pull-behind, pop-up campers all over the country to camper dealerships, and it paid extremely well. The campers were loaded on a special trailer with a winch, and the driver would winch each one off at the delivery point. There are also car carriers that delivers cars, both new and used, around the country. The point is this: instead of wasting 6 months, a year, or longer, working for a company that is not going to help you reach your ultimate goal of running the type of freight you want, or to and from the places you want to go, then why go to work for them to begin with? For example, if you want to pull oversized freight, why go to work for a company that predominantly runs van freight? Wouldn't it be better to go to work for a flatbed company to learn the ins and outs of tarping, strapping, and load securement? Regardless of which type of freight you decide you want to run, do some research on potential employers before making a decision on who to hire on with. Talk to drivers who work for the company you are considering. Find out about their experiences with pay, home time, and working conditions. Use online reviews and forums to get a broader perspective. Heed the advice of veteran drivers. I can't emphasize enough, don't be afraid to ask questions. For the new guys, when obtaining your CDL, if you haven't obtained it yet, try to get tested with a manual transmission. The reason is this: if you test with a manual transmission, it allows you to drive a manual or an automated version of a transmission. If you test using an automatic transmission in a truck, that's all you can legally drive, and it will say so on your CDL. It would be much better for you to be able to drive both a manual or an automatic transmission. The reason why is this: let's say you have a breakdown, for example, and your truck is going to be in the shop for a while, and the loaner truck they have on hand has a manual transmission. Well, your license says you're restricted to driving automatic transmissions only. You're screwed. Now you can't use that truck. Or let's say, for example, the company you are working for wants to give you a choice of a new or different truck. However, the truck you like better has a manual transmission. Well, you're screwed because you can only drive an automatic transmission. Or let's say you are thinking of changing companies for one reason or another, and the company you're thinking about going with has one truck available and it has a manual transmission. Well, your license says you can only drive an automatic. So the moral of the story is, don't limit yourself. Staying on the subject of your CDL, make sure to get all of the possible endorsements you think you may need at that time when you test. At the very least, you should want to get the hazmat and tanker endorsements. The more versatile you can be, the more valuable you are as a driver, and the easier it is to get reloaded and get out of a certain locale and keep moving. Think of it this way: if you need a load, and the closest load available is a hazmat load or a tanker load, as long as you have the needed endorsement, you are golden. If you don't have the needed endorsement, you may find yourself deadheading 50, 60, or 100 miles for your next load. Keep this in mind: even though you are pulling a van, if the load you are picking up has 10,000 pounds or more of loose liquid loaded in drums or containers, you will need a tanker endorsement to pull that load because of the loose slosh. One final note on endorsements: if you have aspirations moving forward of possibly working for a company that pulls doubles or triples, you might want to get that endorsement as well. All right, my friends, that's it for now. Please leave any questions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer them. Stay safe out there and keep on trucking. Take care. Thanks a lot. Remember, like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell below.